Hey, this is Justin Popovich, co-founder of toolsformotivation.com. You can also see my business partner, his picture's on the screen, Ted Payne. And in this training video, I'm going to show you something pretty unique. I've never done really anything like this before. Want to walk you through how to build custom and or unique audiobooks using private label rights content. Private label rights, sometimes also referred to as PLR, basically just means content that other producers, like our company, builds for you. You can buy a license, download it, edit, and then publish it as your own. So here's what we're going to do in this training. I want to look at one of our packages. We have a lot of these blogging bundles. We sometimes call them content bundles as well. This example on the screen right now is called Dealing with Obstacles. And here's a package. It's $47. And what it comes with is a set of 10 articles. Obviously, this topic is dealing with obstacles. 10 different titles where we kind of tackle that topic top to bottom. And then we include 10 audio recordings. So if you want to deliver this content to people in different formats, that is how you would use this particular package. You could publish each one as a blog post and then have an accompanying audio, or you could do a lot of other things with it, which is what I want to show you in this video. So here's the idea. We get a lot of people coming to our help desk or people that just look at our different packages and they ask questions specifically about audio PLR content. A lot of people know what to do with an article or an ebook as an example, right? You can publish that as your own, maybe change it up. But what do you do when it's audio? So we get people saying something like, how do I use the audio if the content is not in my own voice? Or what can I use the audio content for? Or sometimes even, how do I edit the audio content to make it unique? And these are all very valid questions. It's stuff you want to consider yourself if you already have maybe some PLR, if you're looking at buying some that contains audio components, these questions may be on your mind. And I want to tackle them all in this video. The first one I do want to mention really quickly here, the very first bullet on the screen. The fact that the audio content is not in your own voice shouldn't really matter because you as the content publisher can manipulate and edit and rebrand that audio to make it come from you. And I'm going to show you how to do that actually using an example here today. But always keep that in mind, that just because it's not your voice on every single piece of content doesn't mean you cannot publish it. You just have to maybe make a disclaimer or let your audience know that the audio was recorded by somebody else, but the message is still valid and still is in line with what you want to advise them to do. So let's move on with the training. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to build a custom audiobook using PLR content. Talked about that at the beginning. Here is the process. So first, we're going to start with a collection of self-help audio. Obviously, if you need any of that, look around the website that you're on right now, toolsformotivation.com. Then we're going to organize some of the titles in this collection into a logical lesson. So I'm going to show you an exact demo of what that means. Then we are going to create a custom audio session, I'm calling it right now. And you'll see again what I mean by that. And then finally, once we have that new piece of audio content, this custom audiobook that we're making, we're going to talk about an implementation plan as to how we can now use this new piece of audio content that we built. So here are a collection of audio files. I just took 5 of our content bundles. One is on perseverance. One is on, it's called Getting Motivated, Stopping Procrastination, Bouncing Back from Mistakes, and Dealing with Obstacles. And then what I'm going to do is organize these titles into a logical lesson. So this is cool. When you have PLR content, you can take a look at a giant list like this, and you can see all the different titles here. I'll just read some out, right? In the first bundle there in Perseverance, you see there's an article about accepting rejection. Are you capable of following through? Exercise in perseverance, how to overcome a lack of perseverance, and so on. All these different titles for each of these packs dive into that particular topic. There is plenty of opportunity here as a content publisher to simply get creative by mixing and matching these titles to create an overall lesson that you want to share with your audience. So that's what I'm going to do here today. And here is the lesson I'm going to create. I'm going to start with this one. Keep your eye on the prize. So you know what that means kind of just by reading the title, right? Keep your eye on the prize. What's your main goal? What is it you're trying to accomplish? And then think about that. Keep your eye on that at all times. That's a very motivational lesson to share with your audience. So I'm going to start my audiobook or my little custom audio session with keep your eye on the prize as the main theme. And then I'm going to use 4 other audios/articles from this collection to enhance that message. So the second thing I'm going to do is, once I've talked about the importance of keeping your eye on the prize, then I'm going to talk about the importance of following through. Right? You have your eye on the prize. You know what you want to do. You're going to be focusing on that goal on a daily basis. Now you want to make sure that you follow through on all of the ideas and the actions that you come up with to actually achieve that prize or that goal. So follow through is the second part of my session or my lesson. Third, I'm going to talk about how to stop procrastinating, or if you want to stop procrastinating, that you want to start with small tasks. And this leads again naturally from the follow-through concept. If you're following through, well, that's great, but at some point along the way, you might either forget or lose some motivation and you start procrastinating. So if you want to stop that or prevent it from happening to begin with, here are some tips. Once you understand how to overcome procrastination, then get ready for some obstacles, because that's going to happen, right? As you keeping your eye on the prize and you're following through and you're kind of working through any procrastination problems that you have, you're probably going to hit some snags along the way, some obstacles. So let's talk about how to overcome those and even use those as opportunities. And then finally, keeping all of this in mind, that you want to be able to do this so that you don't live with regrets. So the power of knowing that, if I don't do this, I might feel a lot of regret later on in life. So following through on all this stuff that we're teaching in this lesson prevents you from having to deal with that pain, and then using that external motivation, or that intrinsic motivation, I should say, of not wanting to live with regrets. This is now a great 5-part lesson that we can turn into a really powerful audio with very little work. Remember, all 5 of these lessons are already recorded into audio for us. What we're going to do is simply collect them together and then add a little bit of our own dialogue to make it kind of unique to us. So that's the creating a unique audio session. That's the whole piece that I want to show you here. So here's what I did. I collected the 5 titles, and then I just wrote a little paragraph for each one, kind of my own explanation of why that particular topic is important. And then that serves me as a little guideline of what I want to narrate. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to narrate my voice introducing each of the 5 topics. Then I'm going to use an audio manipulation piece of software. I'm going to use something called GarageBand. If you're on a PC, you can use a free piece of software called Audacity, and I encourage you to look that up on YouTube, or just look up some tutorials if you don't know how to use Audacity. But effectively, I'm going to record my voice and then blend my voiceovers with the 5 pre-made audios to create one complete session on this whole concept of keeping your eye on the prize. So let me show you exactly a demo of how I would do this. So on my screen right now, I have an app called GarageBand. Again, you could do this with Audacity. There's a number of different audio manipulation software packages out there, so or audio editing or whatever. So if you don't have GarageBand, don't worry about it, but make sure you spend some time understanding how to actually use a piece of software like this. It's beyond the scope of what I want to demo here. I'm going to assume that you can go figure that piece out. But what I can do here is I can have different tracks. So for example, here I can have a male voice, and here is where I would record my personal introduction to each of those 5 chapters that I talked about earlier. So I would read my little intro, and then I would grab the particular MP3 file from my PLR package and combine it together. So let's actually do that right now. Here is my little text file I created that kind of keeps me on track. And I could actually go over here and hit record. So let me do that, hit record. And then I narrate. So I would read it right here. Keeping your eye on the prize. Whatever goal or ambitions you're striving for in your life, it's vitally important to keep them at the forefront of your mind. In other words, keep your eye on the prize. How? Well, let's take a listen to the following breakdown. And that's it. So now I've got my little audio section created here. Let's play it back. Turn it up so you can hear it. And then I narrate. So I would read it right here. Keeping your eye on the prize. Whatever goal or ambitions you're... Right, so I would need to do some splicing here. I'd have to edit out that little piece I did for you at the beginning of that. But you could see this track right here are my introductions to each lesson. So then I go over to my drive, my hard drive here, and I get my Keep Your Eye on the Prize MP3 from a PLR product. So let's take a quick preview of that. Actually, I'll put it right into GarageBand, and then you can hear it here. So I'll grab it into GarageBand. I'm going to put it on my my second track here. It happens to be called Female Voice. Don't worry about the naming as much. So I would have that blend in after my intro. So I would do my little intro. Let's play it back here. Keeping your eye on the prize. Whatever goal or ambitions you're striving for in your life, it's vitally important to keep them at the forefront of your mind. In other words, keep your eye on the prize. How? Well, let's take a listen to the following breakdown.
Keep your eye on the prize. Catchy statements can often be used to help people get motivated.
Okay, so I don't want to spend too much time on that, but this is the idea. So I record an intro, I paste the PLR in. I record a second intro, I paste the PLR in, and at the end, I'm going to have a 15 to 20 minute ebook here that simply collects existing content, and it allows me to lay my voice over top, making it custom to me and my brand, and I can insert whatever I want there, a call to action on my URL or whatever it may be, or maybe it's just a great opportunity for me to brand myself personally. So once I'm done that, I would collect all of those, like I said, and then I would simply use this software. I would say export export podcast to disk. So I would save it as an MP3, and then I could sell that MP3, or we'll talk about all the different things that we could do with it. But now, if you think back to our overview here, let me just quickly go back here. Look even just a package like this. If you have 5 of our content bundles, you have 50 different audios to work with. I just used 5 to create one little audiobook there. I don't know how long it would be. I was guessing maybe 15 to 20 minutes. But I could do this another 10 times, right? And I could have a whole series or a collection of motivational audio branded to me, my voice, my brand, my URLs, whatever I want to have in there. And that's a whole bunch of content that I can use for my brand over and over again. So I want to skip down here. Let's go back. You can just watch me do this on the fly. I wanted to talk about how to implement it. Once you have one or more of those custom MP3s created, now what do you want to do with it? I've listed some of my favorite ideas here on the slide. So the first one would be just build a collection of them and then sell them as custom audiobooks. It could be, one giant collection of audiobooks that you sell for a single price. You could have 5 different audiobooks, each sold for smaller prices, and then maybe have a bundled option if the people want to get them all at once, and so on. You could use one or more of those, just like the single example I gave you in this video, as lead generation content. It's a good way of getting people to hear your voice. They sign up for your list. On day 1, you send them the first audiobook. On day 2, you send them the second one, or week 1, week 2, and so on. The lead generation aspect of this could be huge. Give it away for free, don't charge for it, but they're really getting to hear a lot of valuable information from you personally and combined with your PLR as well. You could also just do it as free content, right? Post it as a series of engaging blog posts where the blog post itself is one of your longer audio files where you've collected a bunch of these lessons into one, and then you allow them to download it into MP3 format so they can listen to it on their phones or when they're traveling and whatever. So those blog posts become much higher value than like a 5 tips type of blog post. And hopefully that inspires them to sign up for your list to get more blogs from you or blog posts from you in the future. Or how about just posting this as a podcast, doing what I did today, adding more elements, right? You could have yourself narrating some stuff. You could do a whole little rant on something you wanted to teach. You could have an interview with someone else, combine that with the PLR. Almost think of it building your own radio show here. And that could form the basis of a very interesting podcast where only a small amount of the content would have to be unique and stuff you wrote right now. And the rest of it could be just collected content from other guests, PLR, and so on. Or how about taking the audio I created today in this example and laying it over slides to create either a promotional or an educational video for your brand. Upload it to YouTube, drop a little link at the bottom of that video and promote one of your larger packages or a course that you're selling and so on. And speaking of courses, the last example here, what if you package this audio up as a module in one of your courses? Maybe you're teaching a webinar series, or maybe you have a live course where people come and see you in person and you have handouts for them and exercises that they do. Well, you could give away these additional audio modules as just bonus content, give them additional material to think about, to learn from, and so on. Or maybe it's part of the overall course itself. A prerequisite before they come to training is to listen to your 5-part audio, whatever it may be. So these are just some ideas as to how you could use this, an implementation plan. But again, the main thing here is to make sure that you actually put this PLR content into action, and that whatever implementation plan that you choose, that you get it published as soon as you possibly can. So I hope this gave you some food for thought, some additional ideas. It's definitely a unique way of using PLR, especially audio-based PLR, that I don't see a lot of people using right now. So this could kind of give you an edge in your marketplace. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks very much for watching. This has been Justin Popovich.